What's going on, everybody? It's David Piatek, and today we're going to be talking about the VASP Replacement Program for veterans that are potentially facing foreclosure, missed payments on their mortgage. And if you guys don't know, the other month the VASP program ended, and that basically was a program to help veterans place their mortgages out of default into a 2.5% fixed rate. That's something the VA was providing. No lenders were providing that. There's a whole bunch of articles on that as well. But they're getting closer to putting a replacement program out there. The VA Home Loan Program Reform Act. Now, I'm going to go over that with you guys in a second. But I want to share some insight. Now, this is my personal opinion about what's going on and kind of the space of this mortgage business when it comes to people defaulting on their rates and some of the options that servicers are coming up with, which I think are pretty horrible. And so in the last month, we've talked to a lot of people that just reach out and say, hey, David, I want to bounce some ideas off of you based on where I'm at with my mortgage. And this week specifically, a lot of people are about 30,000 or less behind on their mortgage payments. Now, I'm not sure what the fees are and stuff like that, but this is what's mind-blowing. The common theme amongst everyone that I've talked to has been that servicers will take them and put them in a 40-year mortgage. And the same thing, their mortgage payments have gone up a little bit. And, yesterday when I talked to somebody, it dawned on me. I asked them, well, how much is the payment? So they told me how much the new payment would be. And I'm like, well, how many years have you paid on it? Well, I've paid on for 3 years. So now we're saying we're having 13 years being added on to their mortgage, and their payment went up like $600, and then they have to repay all those 13 years. And so for that $30,000, they ended up paying back like $300,000. It was wild. So I suggested like, hey, we reach out to the VA and see what they can do to help you. Maybe reach out to a congressman or and they maybe see what process you can go down. So I know that the struggle out there is very real for folks, especially in this middle of the road. Like, hey, VASP program is gone. VA may not have a leg to stand on. And then this the House Representative Bill 1815 VA Home Loan Program Reform Act is kind of still in its infant stage. So let me share this with you guys so you guys get an idea. I'll also link it in the description so you can take a look at it. I will have to squint a little because there's so much writing in here. So just so you guys see that. So this is from the other month that they met. It has passed the House. This is the act itself, right, to help veterans be able to navigate the piece. So here's one of the things that is going to be on the program. I'm going to switch my view over here while you guys kind of take a look at this because it's much bigger over here. All right. So the secretary may, under terms and conditions determined by the secretary, right? This isn't finalized, but just to give you an idea, as to pay the holder of a loan guarantee under this chapter an amount necessary to avoid foreclosure on such loan. That's a positive thing, right? Gives them authority to do that. Now, this will require the holder of the loan and the veteran obligated on the loan to execute all documents necessary to ensure the secretary obtains a secure interest in the property covered by the loan. Okay, so basically, the veteran and the lender are going to basically say, yes, the VA does have an interest in this loan. Well, if you guys don't know, the broader process of an originating a loan is very complex, right? Because when a lender originates the loan, then it's guaranteed by the VA, then it's sold in the secondary markets. Well, all those are in different mortgage-backed securities. So now you're like picking out these loans from these massive pools. It just causes a ton of problems. So this is why they're putting this in here. So require the holder of the loan to take any action necessary to carry out this paragraph, including preparing, executing, transmitting, receiving, and recording documents, and requiring the holder of the loan to place the lien in forbearance, right? So that's another big piece. And another weird thing that I've been talking with people calling me about these programs is that the lender's requiring them to be on time at like a higher mortgage payment for X amount of time before they can actually go into the full program, like a probationary period. Another weird thing. I'm not really sure why they're doing it. And this is why it's so important to read those documents you guys are getting if you fall in this category. Because if you don't, you you just may not be a good turnout. Okay, the secretary may establish standards for processing payments under the certificate of the holder of the loan guarantee under this chapter that the holder has complied with the applicable requirements established by the secretary. Right, secretary shall carry out on a random sampling basis post-payment audits to ensure compliance with all required disclosures. All requirements described in clause. Okay, those are another thing that they're doing on that piece. Obviously, the secretary shall prescribe loss mitigation procedures, including a monetary sequence in which the holder of a loan guaranteed under this chapter shall offer loss mitigation options, including an option to enter into a partial claim against the VA Home Loan Program Reform Act to a veteran to help prevent the foreclosure of such loan. The secretary may not purchase an entire such loan until the veteran has completed such sequence. Essentially, what I think that's saying is that when you use a VA loan, right, the VA guarantees 25% of that loan. So essentially, like, let's just, for example, you have a $100,000 mortgage, and the mortgage goes into foreclosure. And it's based on the original amount. So if you have a $100,000 original loan, and let's say it's $80,000 now, still the VA guarantees 25% of that. So let's say you go into foreclosure on a $70,000 loan, original entitlement $100,000. Let's say that the house sells for more than what you have for. Then you could potentially recover your money because the VA is getting their money back, the lender's getting their money back with any fees. So you have to be really careful with that because those fees add up real quick. So you don't, plus any outstanding interest, attorney fees, court fees, any of that could be attached to that. Which, by the way, on a side note, a majority of veterans that are facing foreclosure because of like the COVID time period, a majority of those veterans have over 100,000 in equity in their properties. So there's like a study done by somebody in one of these houses that basically said, like, look, veterans do have the option of selling their homes, cashing out, and being whole for the VA and everybody else. So it is one argument that they're making, I would say, almost against this bill, just because the majority of people do have an out that exists. But we understand that if you're in your home, you want to keep your home, especially since you have a lot of equity in that property. And, where we know where rates are right now and home values, they've just gone up a lot. So it definitely makes it a lot harder, I would say, for the average person just to be able to say, oh, yeah, I'm going to just go, give up my, $200,000 mortgage and buy a $500,000 property because that's what it's going to equate to today from when I bought it, whenever, a while ago. So just kind of keep that in mind while you go through that process. And then it just continues to talk about the partial claim program, how the service could actually submit to them. And, there's still, I think, a lot of moving pieces to it. But I just want to at least make you guys aware that there is a replacement for the VASP program that is coming together. So you guys could at least be tracking that. We'll definitely do an updated video once it's official and it's passed, because then there should be a lot more guidance. I say that with confidence, but I say that also kind of loosely because when VASP program came out, the guidance on that was so off because they just didn't provide us all the data that we needed. And then people just had a hard time with their servicers going through that process, servicers submitting things too late. I've just heard an insane amount of stories that were just unbelievable that what veterans had to go through in this process. So make sure you guys check out the rest of the videos we have on the channel. It's all related to VA home loans, the housing market, financial, credit, readiness, so you guys could set yourselves up for success both now in the future and help other veterans out there leverage that beautiful VA home loan. I'll catch you guys in the next video.